Among recent MERS cases, a husband has contracted the virus from his wife. Authorities believe this is the first case of a family infection. A large car ferry carrying 123 passengers and crew was grounded in the sea near Jeju Island. Everyone on board was rescued. And North Korea has sentenced 2 South Koreans to life in prison. Seoul is demanding that Pyongyang release the 2. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, June 24th. I'm Luke Clary. Among the latest cases of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, a husband has contracted the virus from his wife, and authorities believe that this is the very first case of a family infection.
A man in his 70s was hospitalized at Good Morning Hospital in Pyeongtaek, Gyeonggi Province for pneumonia for 7 days from May 23rd. His wife, in her 60s, who was looking after him, had contacted the 14th MERS patient who was hospitalized at Good Morning Hospital. The wife then developed fever on June 9th and was diagnosed with MERS the next day, after which she died during treatment. The husband also reported fever this Sunday and was confirmed to have contracted the virus. Health authorities believe he is a case of a family infection, noting that he lived with his wife at home and his fever came too late if it were to be based on his contact with the 14th patient. Authorities regard this as the first MERS infection between family members.
118번 환자분께서 그 격리 조치 되기 전까지는 증상이 있으셨기 때문에 가족 내에서 감염이 된 걸로 추정을 하고 있고요.
Experts call for efforts to block infections within families who have members under self-quarantine in order to prevent MERS from spreading further.
A large car ferry carrying 123 passengers and crew was grounded in the sea off Chuja Island, which is located close to the popular vacation destination of Jeju Island. Now, fortunately, all of the passengers were rescued, but the accident occurred just 5 days after the ferry started operating on this route.
A large passenger ferry is stranded in the middle of the ocean. Fishing boats that happened to be nearby when the accident occurred rushed to rescue the passengers. The 2,800-ton car ferry Red Pearl departed from Sinyang Port on Chuja Island, Jeju, at around 5:30 p.m. Tuesday. It was grounded 100 meters from the port.
밑에 걸리더라고요. 소리가 좀 푹 그러더니 배가 약간 흔들리더라고요. 워낙 큰 데니까.
The ferry was carrying 123 people, 106 passengers, and 17 crew. They have all been rescued by Coast Guard officials and fishermen. The Korea Coast Guard believes that the ferry hit a rock in the sea because it departed at low tide.
공사를 했는데 이 배가 좀 저 배보다 큰 배니까 또 항구가 제 주장은 막 크진 않잖아요.
The Korea Coast Guard and the Regional Oceans and Fisheries Administration will inspect the ferry's safety and investigate the shipping company to find out why the accident occurred just 5 days after the ferry operation was launched.
The government is pushing to lower the interest rate ceiling for loans at financial companies from the current 34.9% to 29.9%. Now here's a look at the set of measures seeking to help ease the financial burden of working class people.
The central bank's key interest rate has fallen to the 1% range, but 8 out of 10 Koreans borrowing from loan companies still shoulder a steep interest rate of over 30%. The government seeks to revise the Credit Business Act to lower the interest rate ceiling for loans to an annual 29.9% to ease the financial burden on ordinary Koreans. This applies to all financial firms, including loan companies, savings banks, and venture capital firms. But loan companies are protesting the government's move, saying the measure does not consider side effects.
소형 대부업체들의 대거 폐업돼서 음성화된다거나 저신용자들이 대출받기가 매우 어려워지는 이런 부작용이 발생할 것으로.
The Financial Services Commission has also announced an expansion of policy loans for the working class, lower interest rates for low-credit borrowers, and a wider crackdown on illegal private lenders. The government seeks to have laws revised swiftly to implement the lower interest rates starting as early as October. But the legislative process is not expected to be easy, as another bill calling for an even lower rate is already pending in Parliament.
North Korea has sentenced 2 South Koreans detained in the country to life in prison. Seoul has once again demanded that Pyongyang release the 2, saying the sentencing violates human rights and international regulations.
This footage released by North Korea shows 2 South Korean nationals, Kim Guk-gi and Choi Chun-gil, being tried at a North Korean court. North Korea's highest court has sentenced the 2 to life in prison for 4 crimes, including conspiracy against the North Korean regime and espionage. The South Korean government said the North's verdict was unacceptable and illegitimate, and reiterated its demand to immediately release and repatriate its citizens. Seoul said the North Korean court's anti-humanitarian measure ran counter to international regulations because the trial was conducted unilaterally without permitting any visitors.
어떠한 사전 설명도 없이 이러한 부당한 조치를 취하는 것은 국제적 관례는 물론이고 인권과 인도주의 정신의 정면으로 반하는 것입니다.
Seoul also urged Pyongyang to release missionary Kim Jong-uk, who has been detained in the North for nearly 2 years now after being sentenced to life in prison, and New York University student Chu Won-moon.
We've seen frustrating news time and again about ambulances and fire trucks struggling to get through congested roads with drivers not giving way for the emergency vehicles. But we have a different story to tell this time. Take a look.
An ambulance dashing through the side of a road and sounding its siren suddenly slows down before a jammed tunnel. A 6-car collision was reported inside the tunnel, and the ambulance needed to reach the accident site right away. Then, cars jam-packed inside the 2-lane tunnel started to make way for the ambulance. In unison, the cars moved to each side to create a kilometer-long pathway in the center.
먼저 상황을 파악하기 위해서 차에서 내려서 양쪽 옆 터널 인도를 통해서 뛰어가고 있었던 중이었습니다.
6 cars had crashed inside the tunnel at the time, creating casualties and posing a danger of additional accidents. It took just 7 minutes for the ambulance to reach the accident site from the 119 call center 7 kilometers away. It was a rare incident of mature civic-mindedness, shining through in a desperate and dangerous moment which otherwise could have led to higher casualties.
Crimes targeting people who are drunk, sleeping on the street, or in their cars have grown rampant in the hot weather. Here's more on the crime wave.
A man opens the door of a car, takes something out, and casually disappears. There were 2 people in the car, but they didn't notice what had happened because they were both drunk and asleep. Another man puts his hand through the open window of a parked car, steals a wallet, and flees from the crime scene. The driver, who had drunkenly fallen asleep in the car, showed no reaction at all. A 37-year-old man surnamed Yi and a 41-year-old man surnamed Chu robbed drunken people on multiple occasions. They mostly targeted people who were sleeping drunk in unlocked cars or in cars with open windows. Sometimes they robbed drunken pedestrians by pretending to help them.
옆에 누가 오시더라고요. 친구인 줄 알고 가만히 그냥 앉아있다가 있었는데 헤어지고 나서 보니까 지갑이랑 핸드폰이 없더라고요.
The culprits committed their crimes mostly at night in areas crowded with bars. They robbed victims who staggered or fell asleep on the street. The Seoul Gwanak Police Department has arrested the 2 on charges of habitual theft.
An increasing number of people are dealing with skin illnesses now that they're more exposed to the searing summer sun. Exposure to ultraviolet light for an extended period of time is known to cause aging of the skin as well as allergic reactions.
This year's heat wave is being marked by the blinding sunlight beaming through a cloudless sky. Soaring UV index figures render hats, parasols, and other protective gear useless, making it harder to avoid the blistering sun.
저는 피부가 약해갖고 잠깐만 그냥 나와도 얼굴이 빨갛고 달아오르고 그래요. 그래서 항상 양산을 많이 쓰고 다니는 편이고요.
In the summer, the skin is exposed to the strong sunlight for an extended time because people wear shorter and lighter outfits, leading to a greater number of people complaining of skin ailments. This woman in her 40s experienced itchiness and tiny blisters, which developed into red splotches on her face. This is a typical case of photosensitive dermatitis.
좁쌀 모양처럼 일어나면서 굉장히 간지러웠거든요. 옆으로 번지기도 하고 또 붓고 그다음에 이제 목선까지 다 가려움증이 오고.
It's a kind of sun allergy which involves sensitive reactions to sunlight. More than 20,000 people visit hospitals for treatment every year. Experts advise that when going outside in the middle of the day, people should minimize the areas of skin exposed to the sun with hats or sunglasses and avoid UV rays by staying inside or in the shade even for a little while.
The newly released single album by idol group Bangtan is getting a hot reaction in Japan, climbing to the top spot on the country's largest music chart, Oricon. That and more coming up in today's Showbiz News.
Seven-member idol group Bangtan sold 72,000 copies of their single album, For You, in the first week of its release in Japan, and took first place on the Oricon Singles Weekly Chart. This is the first time that a song by a foreign hip-hop group landed in the top spot since Oricon started ranking songs by genre in 2001. Bangtan latest single album contains the Japanese versions of Hormone War and Let Me Know. Super Junior's commemorative album marking the 10th anniversary of the group's debut will go on sale next month. Having debuted in 2005, Super Junior has released 7 studio albums and drawn more than 1.7 million fans around the world to their Super Show World Tour. The group is also scheduled to hold Super Show encore concerts at the Olympic Park in Seoul next month. Acclaimed film music composer James Horner, who wrote the theme for Titanic, died in a plane crash. A winner of 2 Academy Awards, the 61-year-old composer wrote the music for such notable movies as Avatar, Braveheart, and Legends of the Fall.
With heat waves coming over the country earlier than expected, the popularity of summer products such as air conditioners and sandals is surging. Today, we introduce places where you can get summer necessities at rock-bottom prices. Let's take a look. This is a home appliance discount store. It's completely packed with shoppers. A monthly event offering a 75% discount to a selected winner is really attracting customers in droves. Grown-ups gather to play rock, paper, scissors to pick the winner.
선풍기도 못 사는 가격인데 너무 좋아요. 올여름 너무 시원하게 잘 날 것 같아요.
Other events to give out freebies are also being held.
선풍기를 선물하는 시작하겠습니다.
정말 행복했어요. 올여름 선풍기로 잘 보낼게요.
Department stores are also holding sale events. This department store offers a discount of up to 90% on summer dresses for a week.
사실 이게 원피스 하나 가격도 안 되는 건데
정말 득템했어요. 더워졌는데 여러 벌 갈아입으면서 패션 리더 될 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Sunglasses and sneakers will also be marked down to stunningly low prices. This is a discount toy store. It sells popular toys for 70% off. It is famous among parents as a good place to get items that are rarely found elsewhere.
백화점에서 사달라고 하면 가격적으로도 부담스러운데 여긴 저렴하기도 하고 또 시중에 없는 물건들도 많이 들어오고 그래서 자주 오는 편이에요.
With a discount of up to 70%, swimming pool supplies are also offered at rock bottom prices.
겨울 같은 비성수기 때 대량으로 저렴하게 구매를 해서 지금 같은 성수기 때 박리담회로 아주 저렴하게 고객님들께 판매를 하고 있습니다.
From now till August, it's the best time to buy swimming equipment.
이거 사려면 보통 한 10,000원은 요즘 줘야 되는데 여기 1,000원이니까 거저죠, 공짜예요, 공짜.
Taking good advantage of sale events is one way to become a wise consumer. If you grab these opportunities, you can get yourself well prepared for summer, even on a tight budget. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that does it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.